Welcome. It is discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra. My name is Choma Uche. Ebere has joined me. Good morning, Ebere.
Good morning, IJ. Good morning, good morning. I told you when I just met you and said how much I missed you. So you went to tell me you had a swell weekend, right? And a good week.
Does it reflect in my appearance?
Looking at you, it's actually.
But I had a good weekend.
You're looking very beautiful. And smart again.
See who is blushing. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome again. And then let's look at what we have for you this morning. It is environmental concerns on human health. That's possibility that you know exactly what this means. Maybe because we are speaking it in English, you will be asking what are they talking about? It is your environment, how you keep it and how it affects your life. That's exactly what we're looking at. That's in a layman's language. Is your environment good enough to ensure that you are healthy, or is it bad enough to ensure that you are unhealthy? Put together. That's exactly what we're going to look at this morning. And we'll have some people that have joined us to look at that. They are experts. So we're going to leave the stage for them to tell us exactly what this is all about. The first person is engineer Mrs. Adora Mba. She's a principal scientific officer, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, Zonal Office, Oka. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. And then Sanitarian Bernard Ikechukwu Leonard, President, Environmental Health Officers Association of Nigeria. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. When we were growing up, that's when I heard this sanitation officers. You know, they will always say that these people are coming, you have to keep your environment clean. Or is it the same thing now?
Yes.
But you don't move around the way they move in those days?
It's because of some certain issues now. Because in those days, you know, the community seems to be just in a nuclear state that very time than now. Now civilization has taken it has taken almost all part of the system now. So now we have less manpower to cover the whole.
There's manpower out there. Employ people. That's unemployment. Get people to do this work.
This is a professional work. It's not all commerce affair.
You train.
Of course, you go to university, study up to 5 years, even to master level.
And there's still lower cadre people that didn't go to university that you will now impart knowledge on them and tell them how to go and monitor environment.
Yes, I was going to say, so people who didn't go to the university for 5 years and all of that cannot do the kind of work.
You must give them training for them to be able to undertake those responsibilities.
That's what she's saying, employ more people than train them.
And then train them. Train the trainers.
We don't have the manpower, the mandate to do that. It's only government that can empower.
Okay.
It's only government that can do that.
All right, we're going to talk about all those ones as we move on. Ebere.
Yes, and just to also let you know that this topic of discussion, environmental concerns and human health, is commemorating the 2022 World Environment Health Day. So we're going to be looking deeply into how the environment affects us, because a lot of times, you know, you just see people drop dead and, you know, they look for something to just say, okay, this happened, that happened, you know, and maybe it could just be one of these environmental hazards, you know, that could have led to that. So all of that we'll be looking for. And also to let you know that you can join in this discussion. Of course, the numbers are down the screen. When it starts in earnest, you can call in and contribute. Let's begin first. Let's begin with the woman in the house, the mother in the house. While we're celebrating the 2022 World Environmental Day, the theme says strengthening environmental health systems for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Let me begin with you, Mrs. Adora. Environment concerns on human health. We can't stress this enough. How important is this?
Like you said, it cannot be stressed enough. The environment and how healthy it is throws more light on the health of the individuals or the citizens of that nation. So a country like us, Nigeria, we have not come to, I don't know, we create awareness, but probably it is not enough yet. People don't understand the implications of an unhealthy environment.
What do you think? Why is that?
Enlightenment, call it a background.
Because I know...
Do you know that they give birth to people, and like when I was in Lagos before I moved to the East, there are some of these women that they sell foodstuff, and their shop or their kiosk is just on the gutter. So there's just a slab of wood where they place their table. They have their kids around them all over the place. They're not even dressed, some are just wearing panties. And that is where they will ease themselves. That is where they will wash the tomatoes they're selling. That is where they will sell. So these children are growing up with this same knowledge. They don't know any better. They grow up, they carry on like that. So that's why I said background is there. Enlightenment, you don't know more than what you are acquainted with already. So we need to continue with this grassroots sensitization.
So apart from what we're doing now, or how do you sensitize people about the environment? Mr. Bernard.
Thank you very much. You know, we have numerous ways of sensitizing the public. Like in our own sector, we normally undergo what we call house-to-house inspection. During those inspections, we normally give them health education on what we expected them to be doing for them to be able to promote their health. That's one of the activities. Then during the Ember month or around Easter period, we undergo what is called village inspection, where we call them together, the people in the community call them together to a place, either their meeting point or the Igwe place or any of the opinion leaders' home. We call them, give them health talks on certain issues concerning the way we live, the kind of food we eat, how we are going to be able to be handling those things so that they will be able to have great impact to our health.
How often do you do this? Only on Environmental Day celebration?
No. I say it is a routine work. But especially during the December period or before Easter period, we do the one we call village inspection. But normally, every day we're expected to be going from house to house, entering every premises, even schools, hotels, all the premises.
Okay, so I was going to ask this question because, Mrs. Adora said something about maybe it looks as if the enlightenment and sensitization is not enough. I know we've been talking about, this issue of sensitization and enlightenment. It's as old as, the problem on ground.
Yes.
And it looks as if it's not still being solved. What other measures? Because it looks as if this part of the world, we here in Nigeria, a lot of us travel to the Western world, but you get to see streets and, cities, and you're happy. The way things are done and organized. We keep talking here in Nigeria, but nothing changes.
The problem mostly is lack of enforcement of the laws we have at hand. Normally in Nigeria, we do give out nice policies. We do enact laws that when enforced, we go a long way in improving the way we live and the way we do things. But what we're observing is because of lack of enforcement or commitment of some quarters. Because as we are now in the state, let me take Anambra as an example. If you go for all these sensitizations and all the responsibilities we are discharging, at the end, you expected, because when you go, you find out some certain things are not going the way it ought to be done. You give them some days for them to be able to make amend, do some corrections on that very education you've given them. Then, after some expiration of time, you go back again to make sure that what you've told them that they'll be able to comply with it. When they fail, the last resort is for you to take them to court for court action, because that means they need force.
Do you do any of this?
Of course.
Are there people you
to take to court? Of course. But the problem is we don't have sanitation court. We take them to these regular courts. The situation of the courts in Nigeria, you will bring a court, something that is supposed to be treated summarily. They will give you about 2 months or 3 months for you to come again. That has been also the issue. So it's not encouraging on our own part. Because doing that work as a health officer, It's true that you are being paid, but most of the time you are taking your own personal resources to make sure that you decide that your responsibility, and at the end, nothing comes out of it. So it's not encouraging at all. That's what
It's
we
not
are
encouraging. Okay, but let's see how we can get it, right this time around. Madam, World Environmental Health, is it different from the other World Environmental Day? I know there's World Environmental Day, and this one is health, added health to it. So what is the idea behind all this?
Of course, there are so many similarities, but I think the addition of health is now all-encompassing. It's not just about the environment. It's about the effect it has on the health of an individual. It goes beyond the waste pollution. You talk about car combustion, pollution. You talk about the oil spillage and all that. These things have effects on human health. And some of them are short-time effects, while some others are long-time effects. Some, when it starts showing, let's say you present with a terminal illness, and you don't even know that this goes way back on the environment where you're living. I have a friend who stays somewhere around River State. They have this issue of oil spillage and coal. The air there is dark, kind of. So the son developed this autism, and they didn't know that it was the impact of the environment. They lived some other place and he was fine. But by the time they spent 2 years in River State, he presented with this challenge. After running several tests, it was pointing to the kind of air surrounding him. They are planning on relocating. These are some of the things, the kind of fish we take, mercury content in fish from the sea, There are so many ways that the environment can be polluted, and we are not, people are taking it for granted.
Because they are not schooled, nobody is telling them what to do or what not to do to ensure that they are safe. You wanted to say something.
Yes, I was like, let's look at some of these factors you talked about. How does it affect the environment? What's an ideal environment situation where you look at this and say, this is ideal and a conducive place for humans to stay?
It's not something that is unseen. When you see a clean environment, you will know. How do we manage our waste? Is the waste management agency, are they up and doing? Do they pick up these things as at when due? Or do we leave them piled up? The consumers also, how do we dispose the waste? I was somewhere around the market the other day, and it was raining heavily. You know that somebody came out of their shop with a trash bag and was emptying it directly into the gutter because there was flowing water without considering where it will end up. These are some of the issues. When you come and you see that there is a heap of dirt, nobody needs to tell you. It's obvious that the environment is unconducive. By the time you start having decays, by the time the fumes, start coming out, radiation of this poor air, people living around will start suffering it. What of the water? The people throwing dirt into the ocean, the rivers. People living around there, they don't consider what happens. The livestock, the aquatic animals inside these rivers, they are affected as well, because what you garbage in is what you bring out. So that's the problem.
All of this time, let me ask you, Mr. Bernard, all of this time, would we say we're not sensitizing people enough, or would we say people have just chosen to, follow their own mad course?
Thank you very much for that question. I will just attribute this to our behavior, to poverty. What people normally hear this time around, when you gather them to give them health talk, or even to give them one goodie or the other, what they will be looking after is money. Do you come with money? So whatever you're telling them that very time is of no use to them. They don't want to hear anything, just money. Like recently, there was a net campaign. The government provided net for the communities. and we happen to be part of the people that distributed the net to the communities. You'll be giving them net, something that will prevent them from mosquito bite, and at the long run will prevent them from suffering from malaria. Some of them just rejected those nets. That is it what this what government is giving to us, that we are hungry, what we need is money.
So they're going to sell it to.
Some after collecting, they will not make use of it. They will keep it. After some time, they will sell it off. So that's just it. Poverty. The level of poverty in the society is affecting the whole system.
Okay.
That's just it.
Okay, let's continue looking for what to do, because I don't, the way we talk about this is like there's no hope at all on how we're going to manage our environment and get it better. But I know that, what do you call it? Agriculture is one of the ways that
Certainly.
we can explore to get, to improve our environment. So how can we now use agriculture to help save the environment?
Thank you very much. Agriculture, before now, we say is food is through the agricultural practice is through that process we make food for the public, irrespective of the level of affluence or poverty the person is. Once the person will be able to go into agricultural practice, even ordinary producing vegetables, I think the person from there will make a good livelihood from there. So agriculture is very important to us now, because if the previous government say Ubo Azono, that's one of the things. For us to invest in the Ubo Azono, it's a very nice strategy. Irrespective of whether you have a vast area of land to cultivate or the other thing, there are many things one can go into, even snail production, this vegetable, even pepper. All these things, if we will be able to look into it, sensitize the communities, the people, on how to go into these ventures, I think it will go a long way in elevating us from that level of poverty in the society.
Thank you.
No, it's like Madam wants to add something to that, because I'm looking at a situation whereby instead of leaving this environment fallow and dirty, you apply is into farming, so that at the end of the day, get what to eat, and then the environment also gets to be clean.
Agriculture goes a long way beyond the employment and all that. Like we're talking about poverty. This car combustion, what comes out is usually carbon dioxide. So when you plant, it uses these fumes that have been taken, that is in the air already. Yes, so this goes a long way. Even when we're talking of global warming, that's on a higher level of environmental concern. So this planting of trees, planting our vegetables, it helps because they absorb some of these toxic gases that are not good for human beings, but are good for these plants. So I know that some states have already started implementing this planting a tree. One person at least plant a tree. So if the government can also look into that, I think it will go a long way to curb these environmental concerns.
Yes, we've been, okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. All right, Mr. Okichukwu from Jos. All right, go ahead with your questions or contributions.
Thank you very much. I don't want to look like government, quite naive, and it is like woman said agriculture. It's not all about agriculture. We should also sort of bioenergy, bioenergy. It is some of those substances in the developed world to convert to energy. You understand? It is very, very important. And what we said is some of those jobs, like I said, it can be monetized. A lot of those things, the leather, the bottle, the plastic, and the rest, can be, and it can be recycled, used for important things. And another state government also thinks about the bioenergy. Bioenergy now derives a lot of competition a lot of issues, a lot of, attention. Right? If we have such things, like most of the folks really, but along the line, we stop. We try to establish something that has to do with bioenergy, but along the line, we stop. And if you say to Nigeria, I'm not the only place that bioenergy has been introduced. If I'm not going to do it, other things, we also follow suit. Thank you very much, and I'll call back later.
Thank you.
Right, thank you, Okechukwu from Jos. He's been talking a lot about recycling.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But
We
before
didn't
continue,
even go
we
there.
talk to some people.
We're going to go there because,
Okay.
like I said, this issue of sensitization, I'm not against it. I think we have to keep talking, as long as there's life, we keep talking. But it looks as if the people we're talking to,
We have
aren't
coconut
listening.
head.
And now, you just give instances of rain falling, people. It's not like they don't know these things are bad, And he talked about enforcement, we're not actually following the laws, and, enforcing these laws. How do we get to that point? Because the environmental concerns, ranging from biodiversity, water pollution, air pollution, and all of that is killing a lot of people silently, and we don't know. Where do we go from here, Dora?
Okay, so there's a lot to do. Apart from sensitization, I think we have to be more practical now. He talked of gas. That is true. Same in line with agriculture, but on livestock, the waste from these animals, you can create methane gas from it. When you pack and heat them, this heat generates, there's a way you can convert it back. Other countries, do you know that their water that they take is from these wastes? They purify it and then they recycle. So we need to consider recycling of these things. Plastic pollution, we have been talking about it. People don't even know that you can generate money from recycling plastics. You sell back to the companies that are manufacturing these containers, plastic containers. They use them. So you trade in, they give you money for bringing debts that are plastic, and then they recycle. They clean and recycle. I've been to one of the companies where it happens. Where? Even metals, like Chikasin, they do it. I think in Unewi, Umudim Unewi, you see heaps of plastic. These are people that bring it in. Okay. So these are some of the ways we can.
We'll take a short break, and when we'll come, we'll look at the theme of this year's celebration proper. Okay, we talked to some people on the streets. Let's hear them.
One of the best ways we can actually curtail this environmental hazard is to make sure that there are management waste people that can help in some of the homes. Like for instance, where I'm coming from, they normally do it every month, twice in a month. Some environmental waste management comes to houses, to homes, to come and pick their waste bins. In this way, it will help people not to drop waste on the roadsides, because when they drop waste on the roadsides, you find out that it start blocking the sewage, the drainage. So, and once these things start happening, when it rains heavily, some of these things will not allow the drainage waters to flow well. By doing these things, we start compiling, and before you know it, we start causing environmental hazards to our environment.
We need to do away with so many practices that affect the environment. These are some of the practices that affect the ozone layer too. They include indiscriminate dumping of refuse, bush burning, deforestation rather, and burning of tires, and so many of it. Talking about the environment, we need so many other type of energies that it's not that is recyclable or that is not harmful to the environment. We need clean energies like the solar energy, and so many of them that it's not going to be gaseous in the environment. So I think it's so many practices should be stopped for us to have a better environment. It's a duty of the government and of the people too. It's a two-sided thing. The government should sensitize the people more, educate the people more on the reasons why they should not do it. Place stiff penalties on people defaulting, from burning of tires to indiscriminate dumping of refuse. I'm glad that the current state governor is trying to do something about the indiscriminate dumping of refuse and burning of tires on the roads. So I feel the government have to do their part by educating the people, and the people too have to do their part by adhering to the instructions and knowing that these practices are bad and we should stop them and do things that will make the environment better.
The government has to come into play in this instance because you have some of the gaseous elements such as the refrigerator, the cars that are emitting gaseous substances that are causing hazard to the society. Despite that, you also have industrialization, which I think the government has to put things in place for industries to realize that some of the smokes they emit is actually causing a lot of harm, irrespective of the fact that it's enhancing production as well. So I feel the government needs to bring out some ways to keep them informed and as well keep them in check.
Okay, welcome back. It is still Good Morning Anambra, the morning edition. And I'd like to thank you for staying tuned. Those of you that have called, thank you. Those that are yet to call, you guys set and then join us in the discussion. Okay, I still have Adara and Bernard with me in the house as our guest this morning, while my co-presenter, Ebere, is very much handy.
Yes, we're still here to talk more about the health issues,
okay,
the environment issues too.
Oh yes, I said that when we come back, we're going to look critically on the theme of this year's celebration, with a strengthening environmental health system for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goal. This is where I'm going. Okay, so how do we do this? Let me start with you, sir, Bernard. How do we do this? Because it's not just talking about throwing garbages in the gutters or not cleaning your environment. I think we'll have a goal. We have a mandate where we want to go with this. What do we want to achieve with keeping our environment in order?
Thank you very much. You know, from the inception of Mr. Governor, now in Anambra State, he's an environmentally friendly governor. Recently, through the ASWAMA, we've inaugurated sanitation committees in the local governments, because he said he wants to push sanitation issue back to the local government. So we've inaugurated sanitation committees in the local government and also to the ward levels. So what we are waiting now is the mandate to move into action. I believe that when the committees will start working, we'll be able to feel the impact of good sanitation in the communities, because in that very communities we have the ward councillors, the civil society organizations, the environmental health officers being the secretaries of the committees. Then the market leaders, they are also part, the women leaders, they are also part of these committees. So looking at all these people involved in the committees, we believe that they will be able to do a very wonderful work. If they are really sincere and committed to the work. That's how I would put it. The government have seen it. Do you pay them? That's the issue again. For now, we don't know about whether there will be any remuneration or not. We don't know about that. Because we are the civil servants and we are working under the government employ, and we are given our mandate to do our responsibilities. So in the course of discharging the responsibilities, of course, you must incur some certain expenses that your own purse cannot take. So we're expecting that the government will be able to budget some certain stipends for the committees to be able to function well.
All right.
For now. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Your name and location.
Yes, my name is Stephanie. I'm calling from Oka.
All right, go ahead with your contributions or question.
Okay, so I've been enjoying the discussion so far, and I want to appreciate the panel.
Thank you.
So my question is, the Anambra State government is so heavy on environmental issues, and I've always said that there is very beautiful laws, but there is no enforceability of these laws. So we talk about laws and how they are enforced and setting up committees, but how do we go about sustaining them? Because you see how you enforce laws when they are enacted, issue of sustainability, how we sustain this and possibility of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's exactly what we are talking about
Thank you very
now.
much.
Ada, strengthening the environmental health system for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. How do we go about this? That's domesticated in Anambra State.
Okay. I don't know, like when Bernard was talking, he mentioned committees. I don't know if it's the same thing as task force. But if it's not the same thing, I think they should come up with some task force team that will be empowered to move out there and, you know, penalize people that are found wanting when it comes to, you know, environmental pollution. I know that we had something like that in the past, you know, kick against indiscipline. I think, I don't know if Water Brigade was doing the same thing or Operation Umpochap or something like that, you know. So those were the dreaded force that when they're coming, you know, you don't try rubbish. You cannot just come and pour your dirt in the flood. It doesn't work. So I think we need something like that. A group should be created, or even more groups should be created for every zone in this our state, so that they can enforce this. We're talking of enforcement. Without enforcement, you cannot achieve it.
I think this is the word, because you know, we keep talking about sensitization. I think we've done a lot of talking, and we'll still do, and we'll keep doing. The enforcement part, you want to say something?
Thank you very much. The government also have put in place environmental sanitation enforcement team, but I don't think they have not started action. They have not started action, but they are, I don't know, because I'm not part of it, but I know some of my men are part of the enforcement team. Okay. Yes. They have given them some trainings, but they have not started action for now.
So maybe
in recent time they will they'll start moving around.
Trainings and trying to get set for the work ahead. Still talking about the theme of this year's celebration of World Environmental Day. Let's talk about those Sustainable Development Goals, Ada. What are those goals? What are these goals rather? And then again, do we believe in these goals? Because I know there was a time they said the Vision 2020, Sustainable Goal 2050, 3030 and all of that. And you know, we keep talking about these Sustainable Development Goals. What are these goals? Do we in this part of the world believe in these goals, working towards to achieve those goals?
Well, I think the way I will summarize it is that in Nigeria we love to speak grammar. We love, you know, big English. Everybody just wants to use the word Sustainable Development Goal. A lot of people don't even know what it entails. You know, you set target 2020. We've passed 2020. What's the next one? 2030. And then it keeps on and on. What is the goal? It's objective. What do you hope to achieve as a country? You know, how do you place your country in such a way that investors will be attracted, businesses can thrive? That's what it should be. You can't say that a business will thrive in an unhealthy environment. When you want to draw people from all facets of the world, you know, you're expecting people to come from other parts of the country to invest in Nigeria, at least your environment should speak. You don't expect an expatriate to come in here and settle in a very untidy place, because that's not what they're used to, where they're coming from.
And when you say environment, does it include security?
Yes.
You know,
it's all encompassing.
Capital income and a whole lot of
it's
things.
All encompassing.
Economy.
Yes. It's only when you're talking of pollution that you now go more physical. But when you talk of the whole environment, security is key. You know, the cleanliness, healthy environment is key. So yes, we're concentrating on health today, but it's all encompassing. So I think this sustainable development has to do with being objective, sustaining these aims and objectives for development.
This is Mr. Prochiko returning from John. I want to also add my list to that issue of sustainable goals. In terms of management or whatever that has to do with sustainable development, three things must come to play. One, man-made material. If you manage man very well, the man will manage the money, and the money will yield the material or will buy the material.
Okay.
So, sustainable development should work on this step. It should work with highly value, two things. That is, private development, government should partner with private industry. Nowadays, in many countries of this world, government cannot be alone.
All right, thank you very much, Ugo. Thank you very much. Talking about, all he has said, Bernard, I would ask you this direct question. Do you think, as a country, Nigeria, do you think we're sincere in the fight of this environmental pollution as regarding the citizens? Do you think the government of the day, do you think the citizens, do you think we all are sincere in trying to make our environment a better place in this part of the world?
Thank you very much for the question. In all sincerity, government is trying. Government is trying. But the major issue now facing the country is the issue of insecurity. The citizens have catched into the situation on ground. Most of us, because of the poverty level, they don't want to hear anything done. The way they can make money, legally or illegally, or at all cost. So, for the government to be able to achieve the aims of these SDGs, there must be serious commitment in the issue of enforcement. There must be issue. Like now, the issue of insecurity in Anambra State, I believe, have gone down to a certain level. With time, I think everything will just come to normal. Then it's only then, when this whole situation is very calmed, that we'll be able to enforce these laws. Because in our own sector, when you go for sensitization or for any work into the communities, when you have problem there, if you call the police, they hardly come to your rescue. They hardly come. They will say, you should go use this, the vigilante, or if you know how to bring the person to police. It's a problem. There's no way the person can follow you there. Even if you go to the court and sue the person, if he or she refuses to come to the court, there's nothing you still can do. Because of the insecurity, everybody is afraid of losing his or her own life. And when you die, I think government is gone. Nothing will be able to be remembered because of your commitment to duty. So the government is serious. With time, I believe, we will be able to get it right.
Are we sincere in this fight? He's been able to, clarify some issues about insecurity and why, a lot of people may not be giving their best to it. But are we going to continue this way?
I feel that the percentage of people that are sincere, there are sincere people in this fight, but they cannot do it alone. And the percentage of those that are sincere is very, very minimal compared to those that are not sincere. That is the problem. You cannot wage a war against indiscipline and you just have 5% of the population fighting for it. The 95 is going to sum out, and they say if you can't beat them, you just join them. That's the problem.
Okay, we're leaving. So what is a message to people for this year's World Environmental Health Day?
Okay. Yeah, the message I would drop for everyone, especially coming from the consumer angle, we need to fight against unhealthy environment, because as a consumer, one of the rights of a consumer is right to healthy environment. And if we have a healthy environment, I am sure that we'll have good, health being. You won't have to spend so much money curing diseases and illnesses.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Bernard.
Thank you very much. Let me just use this opportunity to say the partners in controlling of emerging and re-emerging diseases have now seen the importance of the environment, trying to bring along all the ministry, departments and agencies to fight holistically in looking into the ways of controlling these diseases.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So that's what you are telling our people, or you are telling the ministry or the government?
The government and the people. So we should key into that very program. Mm-hmm. Try to do the best we can to make sure that we have a good environment and reduce reduce illnesses or disease infestation in our communities.
All right. Thank you. Ebere.
Well, that's it. We have to go. But then, like I said, sensitization will not stop. This is the more reason why we're here. We'll keep talking, but it's important. It's important that we talk about these things. We carry these things out, with our attitude, our characters, we do those things. You cannot be throwing debt into the gutter or the wrong. You're not even doing it for the government. Do it for yourself, your family, and your loved ones.
Because the environment you abuse today will take a revenge on you tomorrow.
Bam.
You will put it in a ilo. You will put it zolopa the things zobakuya begi. Ubute goya. Yeah, spend the ego survive or can chigi. Dalono. Thank you very much. That's how it's been this morning as we spoke with very professional officers this morning. Engineer Mrs. Adora Mba. She is a Principal Scientific Officer, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC Zonal Office, Oka. Thank you for coming, Ada.
Thank you so much for having me.
And then Sanitarian Bernard Ikechukwu Leonard, President, Environmental Health Officers Association of Nigeria. Welcome. Dalun. Okay, Bele, we must call.
Yes, let's go for breakfast. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Everybody has called all the way from Jos and every other parts of the country. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Tomorrow, let's do this again. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody behind the crew, the producer, all of them in the MCR, the camera guys here, the floor manager. Thank you so much for making this happen.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.